Okay, so when it comes to the front of the vehicle, I'm gonna first do my clearance light all on the cabin trailer, front and sides. Let them know that they're properly mounted, secure, amber in color, not broken or cracked, clean and clear. Come down to my headlights, my low and high beams. It also operate as my left and right turn signal, my four-way flashers, and my running lights. I'm gonna let them know they're not broken or cracked, proper in color, clear, properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware. They're clean and clear. I'm gonna go over to my fender lights, which are up there. Now they're amber in color, not broken or cracked, properly mounted, secure, clean and clear. They function as my left and right turn signals and my four-way flashers. Look underneath the truck. That one's leaking. But I'm looking for underside of engine and transmission, no obvious signs of fluids, leaks, puddles, or parts. Go around to my engine. I'm gonna start on my driver's side. So all my hose and electrical, no abrasion cuts, not leaking, hose clamped tightly, not cut nicked or frayed, properly terminated, no splices on the entire engine. I'm gonna go to my coolant reservoir, properly mounted, secure, proper operating level, not leaking, cap secured. We'll move over to my oil stick, my oil level, pull the stick out slightly. Oil is within safe operating range, above add mark and below full mark. State this is where I will add oil. Go down to my windshield washer reservoir fluid. It's properly mounted, secure, it's a proper operating level, it's not leaking, and the cap is secured. Make sure to test the caps. My air compressor, which will be the blue thing back there, is gear driven, it's properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked, and it's not leaking. I will go over to my power steering pump, which is, I think it's under the blue thing. I'm not really quite sure. It's gear driven. It's properly mounted, secured. I can follow that hose and see where my power steering pump is. Yeah, it's that one under the blue one. It's properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not been broken or cracked, it's not leaking. Go to my power steering reservoir, which is right there, and the hoses. Do a fluid check. Properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not been broken or cracked. Fluid in operating range, not leaking, and the cap is on tightly. Then I will go to my steering system with my steering shaft and my steering gearbox right there. On the steering wheel to the steering gearbox is properly mounted, secure, not been broken or cracked, not missing no hardware, not leaking, no more than 10 degrees in play. And I will drop to my steering linkage, steering gearbox. Contains the pivot arm, the drag link, my tie rod over there, the joints and sockets. They're not bent, broken, or cracked. Properly mounted, secure with castle nuts and cotter pins, which are right there. No missing hardware. And I will go to my shock absorber, which is right there, and bushings. They're properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked, not leaking. I will go over my leaf springs. They're properly mounted, secured, not bent, broken, or cracked, not shifted, no missing leaf springs. And I will speak on the axle, the U-bolts, properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked. And I will discuss my brake hose, which is right there, from the frame to the brake chamber. There are no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. It's not cut, nicked, or frayed. It's properly mounted, secure, and not leaking. Then I would go to my brake chamber, which is right there in the chamber band. They're not bent, broken, or cracked, properly mounted, secure, with no missing hardware, and they're not leaking. And I would go to my brake slack adjuster, which is right there in push rod. They're properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked. I would state the test no more than 1 inch in play with the brakes released by pushing and pulling the slack adjuster push rod. Then I will go to my brake shoes and pads, which are in there. Brake shoes and pads. The brake liner is not worn dangerously thin, free of oil, grease, or debris. Then I'll point out my brake rotor and drum. They're not been broken or cracked. No dents or holes, not warped. Properly mounted, secure, free of oil, grease, or debris. Then I will speak on the wheel and rim, both inside and outer rims, not been broken or cracked, and have no welds. My tire walls, I will speak on my inside and outer tire walls. No abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. They're not leaking. I speak on my tire tread, which is on top. There are no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. Evenly worn with a minimum of 4/32 inch of tread depth on my steer tires, 2/32 inch on all other tires. Then I will discuss the tire valve stem and cap, properly mounted, secure, not been broken or cracked, not leaking, and the cap is in place. Then I will mention the tire inflation. I will check the tire inflation with a tire gauge at the beginning of the workday to ensure tire pressure is at manufacturer specification. Never mention the tire pressure. I will say manufacturer specification. I will speak on my lug nuts. All properly mounted and secure, not been broken or cracked or distorted lug nut holes. No signs of looseness by shiny threads or rust trails. I will speak on the hub axle seal, which is right there. They're properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not been broken or cracked, not leaking. Proper fluid level is sight glass. Then I will move over to my tractor. Do the mirror brackets assembly. It's properly mounted and secure. No missing hardware, not been broken or cracked. And I will go to my door handle. Check it is properly mounted, secure. Open and closes properly from the outside. Operate handle. Then I will go to my door hinges, which are on the inside. They're not been broken or cracked. Properly mounted, secure with no missing hardware. My door seals, which are right there on the outside. They're properly mounted, secure, not cut, nicked, or frayed, not hanging. My cab steps, I mentioned, they're properly mounted, secure with no missing hardware, no oil, grease, or debris, with safety. I will mention my fuel tank and fuel lines, which are on top. Properly mounted, secure to the tractor frame with tank straps, which are right there. Not been broken or cracked, cap secured, seal not cut, nicked, or frayed. Close the door. Go to the rear cab, my catwalk. This truck really doesn't have a catwalk. So I will go to my airlines. No abrasion, bubbles, or cuts, not cut, nicked, or frayed, not tangled, pinched, kinked, or dragging on the tractor. Properly mounted, secured to tractor fittings and that glad hand. Not bent, broken, or cracked to trailer, not leaking. I speak on my electrical cord, which is my green cord. Not cut, nicked, or frayed, not tangled, pinched, kinked, or dragging on tractor. Properly terminated at both ends and locked into sockets. I will speak on my tractor frame and cross members. So right there. They're not been broken or cracked, properly mounted, secure, with no missing hardware, no illegal holes or welds. Then I will go over and point out my drive shaft, which is in the middle there. And all couplings and U-joints. Not bent, broken, or cracked, properly mounted, secure, with no missing hardware, free of debris, and not twisted. Guess then I will move to my drive axle, front of tire position. I will mention my leaf springs, mounts, and hangers, both front and rear, and bushes. Again, properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked. Leaf springs are properly mounted, secure, not bent, broken, or cracked, not shifted, no missing leaf springs. My axle U-bolt up in there is properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked. Discuss my brake hose again from the frame to the brake chamber, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, cut, nicked, or frayed, properly mounted, secure, not leaking. While my brake chamber band again, not been broken or cracked, properly mounted, secure, Chamber band is intact, no missing hardware, not leaking. Discuss my brake slack adjuster and push rod, properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked. Stay touched no more than 1 inch with brakes released by pushing and pulling slack adjuster and push rod. Brake shoes, pads, and liners again. My brake line is not worn dangerously thin, free of oil and debris. My brake drum again is not been broken or cracked, no dents or holes, not warped, properly mounted, secure, free of oil or debris. On my wheel and my rim again, both inside and outer rims on both tires, not been broken or cracked, no welds. Speak on my tire walls, both inside and outer of both tires, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, not leaking. Speak on my tire tread, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, evenly worn with a minimum of 230 seconds in tread depth because they're not my steers. Then I'm going to speak on my tandem tire gap, which is called my bud space. It's evenly spaced with no debris. My tire valve stems and caps again. Valve stems on both tires, properly mounted, secure, not bent, broken, or cracked, not leaking, cap in place. Tire inflation, I will check the tires, make sure that the proper manufacturer specifications. Turn the page, check my lug nuts once again. Make sure they're all properly mounted and secure, not bent, broken, or cracked, or distorted lug nut holes. No signs of looseness by shiny threads or rust trails. Speak on my hub axle seal again. Make sure it's properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked, not leaking. Proper fluid level with the sight glass. Guess at this point I will go to the rear of the tractor. Speak. It's a 53 footer, so we got a nice little walk. Up to the rear of my trailer, back here. Speak on my tail lights, left and right. Not broken or cracked, of proper color. Red lenses functions as my running lights, my stop light, my turn signals, and my hazards. I guess stop means brake lights, basically. White lenses. I don't see this having white lenses. I'm at the actual wrong part. This is the rear of the tractor. I'm at the trailer. White lens are my reverse lights and my tags, clean and clear. Tractor to trailer landing gear space and ample clearance between tractor and trailer landing gear during turns. Pre-trip, I will speak about my fifth wheel, fixed non-sliding. This is probably, here's the lights I was talking about. Had to mention my kingpin. It's up in there. It's not been broken or cracked. Properly mounted, secured to the trailer. My locking jaws not been broken or cracked. Locked around the kingpin. My trailer apron not bent, broken, or cracked. Properly mounted, secured to trailer. Not missing any hardware. My apron skid plate, which is also up there. No gap between apron and skid plate. Not been broken or cracked, properly mounted, secured to platform, properly greased. Then I will go over my pivot pin, which is on the side over here. My bolts, my platform, and my release handle. Not bent, broken, or cracked, properly mounted, secured to tractor frame. No missing hardware. Release handle is in the lock position all the way in. Then that covers the tractor portion of my pre-trip. Now I will have to go to the trailer. Start at the front driver's side corner up here. Clearance lights. One's up there. All on front side. Probably mounted secure. Not broken or cracked. Amber in color. Clean and clear. Front bulkhead. Header board. Side of trailer. No, not bent, been broken or cracked, no obvious signs of damage such as bulges or holes. I will roll up my doors. This isn't the right trailer, but I will roll up my doors and handle. Make sure they're not bent, broken, or cracked, properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, no obvious signs of damage such as bulges or holes, hinges, not bent, broken, or cracked, no missing hardware, doors and gates open and close smoothly and latches properly. Go on my marker lights on the trailer side, rear corner. Those lights I was just showing, properly mounted, secure, they're red in color, not broken or cracked, clean and clear. Then I have my DOT reflective tape present, clean and clear on the side of the trailer. Underside of the trailer, working towards the rear. I will check out under there. My trailer frame, my cross members and floor, look under the trailer, make sure nothing's been broken or cracked, properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, no obvious signs of damage such as broken wheels or hose. I will take my landing gear assembly, my frame and cross members and feet, make sure they're properly mounted, secure to the trailer frame, no missing hardware, not been broken or cracked, feet are fully raised, the crank handle is secure. Then I will get back here and go over my lead spring mounts and hangers again, both front and rear, and the bushings. Make sure they're properly mounted, secure with no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked. The leaf springs are properly mounted, secure, not bent, broken, or cracked, not shifted, no missing leaf springs. I'll go over and speak on the torsion bar and bushings. Make sure they're not bent, broken, or cracked, properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware. Speak on my axle U-bolts once again. Describe that they're properly mounted, secure with no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked. Over my brake hose from the frame to the brake chamber. No abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. They're not cut, nicked, or frayed. They're properly mounted, secure, not leaking. Go over my brake chamber and chamber band again. They're not bent, broken, or cracked. Properly mounted, secure. Chamber band is intact, no missing hardware, not leaking. Go over my brake slack adjuster and push rod again. Discuss they're properly mounted, secure with no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked. State test no more than 1 inch. Brakes released by pushing and pulling the slack adjuster push rod. Discuss my brake shoes and linings again. Brake lining not worn dangerously thin, free of oil, grease, or debris. My wheel and rim I will speak on again. Both inside and outer rim of both tires not bent, broken, or cracked, no welds. My tire walls, both inside and outer of both tires, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, not leaking. My tire tread has no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts, evenly worn with minimum of 2/32 in tread depth. Speak on my tire gap. My bud spacing is evenly spaced with no debris. Speak on my tire valve stems and caps again. Valve stems on both tires, properly mounted, secure, not bent, broken, or cracked, not leaking, cap in place. Discuss my tire inflation again. I would check tire inflation with the tire gauge when cold to manufacturer specification, usually at the beginning of the workday on both tires. Check my lug nuts once again. They are all properly mounted, secure, not bent, broken, cracked, or distorted lug nuts. No signs of looseness by shiny threads or rust trails. My hub axle seal again is properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked, not leaking. They're at proper fluid level and sight glass. Then I will go to the rear trailer once again. Check my clearance lights, which I can't see at this time due to the tree. The top of the edge, they're properly mounted, secure. They're red in color, not broken or cracked. They're clean and clear. My tail lights and my license plate, not broken or cracked. Red lenses function as my running lights, my brake lights, my turn signals, and my hazards. And they're clean and clear. I have the DOC reflective tape. It's properly mounted, secure with no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked. The reflective tape is present, secure, not torn, and in good condition. My mud flaps, which are up there because my tires are pushed up at the time, they're properly mounted, secure with no missing hardware, not bent, broken, or cracked, torn, or ripped, sufficient width and length. Turn my page, see what I got next. I will make my way back up to the passenger side of the engine to discuss what was different on this side from the other side. Back to the engine compartment. Let's speak on all the belts. Go make sure they're not cut, nicked, or frayed. They're properly adjusted with no more than a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch in free play. Belt drives my water pump and my alternator. My alternator and wiring, which is up in there, is properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware. My alternator is belt driven, belt not cut, nicked, or frayed. It's properly adjusted with no more than a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch in play. Check my water pump, which I believe my water pump is up in there behind the radiator. It's properly mounted, secure with no missing hardware. It's not been broken or cracked. It's belt driven. It's not leaking. Belt not cut, nicked, or frayed. Properly adjusted with no more than 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch in play. Exhaust manifold to the stack tip. I believe it would be this right here. That's my stack tip. Properly mounted, secure, no missing hardware, not been broken or cracked, and it's not leaking. And I will do a light check, conduct a functional light check, demonstrate external light checks, check that all external lights and reflective equipment are clean and functional. Clearance lights, tractor and trailer front sides, marker lights, tractor and trailer sides, my headlights, high and low beams, my turn signals, tractor and trailer, my four-way flashers, tractor and trailer sides, and tail lights. My running lights, turn signals, four-way flashers, brake lights, tag light, red reflectors on rear, and amber reflectors elsewhere. That will conclude the outside, then the inside of the pre-trip NCAP will begin.